Hi everyone, this is Alan Rosinski of Metro Manhattan Office Space. You may find yourself, some of you, in a WeWorks, in a co-working space, in the market for office space one of these days. You may have a startup. You may be forming a new company, looking for a home for your firm. And you're going to call a broker. You're going to ask the broker about space, and you're going to be maybe a little surprised, a little puzzled when your broker asks you if you want office or if you want loft space. So I'm going to try to explain the difference between both of them, because that could be helpful when the time arrives when you're looking for a space. Now, loft space is former manufacturing space. Really didn't exist as office space very much until about 35, 40 years ago, when manufacturing contracted, because for the most part it left New York City, going overseas where labor rates were considerably cheaper, and landlords retrofitted their loft buildings for office use. Now, many of these buildings are smaller buildings located on the side streets. Some of them are huge properties like the Starrett-Lehigh building on West 26th Street. But there's certain things which are very characteristic of loft buildings. High ceilings, concrete floors, sometimes wood floors, brick walls sometimes, oversized windows. They have a certain industrial chic to them. The common areas are not as elaborate as traditional office buildings, which were built for office use. Now, loft space compared to office space used to be much cheaper than traditional office space. Used to be a bargain. But what's happened in the last 10 or 15 years, notably the last 7 or 8 years, is there's been such a growth in the tech industry, which loves these side street loft buildings, and also in the advertising, public relations, kind of creative type business, that loft space is really no cheaper than traditional office space in Manhattan. In one neighborhood's an exception, the Garment District. The Garment District has really good deals on loft space, and it's less expensive than office space. Give you an idea where these different types of space are located. Loft space is predominantly in Midtown South, and the Garment District, an accessory district to some extent. Traditional office space is mostly in Times Square, Grand Central, Wall Street, the World Trade Center area, some very, very distinct areas. What's happened recently now is you can kind of get a blend of loft and traditional office space. You can get a loft-like space in a Class A building which has a loft feel, because what's happened is landlords in A buildings wanted to reduce vacancy rates. So what they did is they retrofitted many of their spaces. They removed the drop ceilings, installed concrete floors, and they made their space much more loft-like. So it's kind of a blend. That's something new in the market in the last 6 or 7 years. Certain examples of a classic office building would be the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, One World Trade Center. A typical loft building would be a building like the Starrett-Lehigh building, and not that many of them are very well known because they tend to be smaller buildings. So when you're looking for space and your broker asks you whether you're looking for a loft or an office building, hopefully this is going to give you an idea of how they differ, and it's going to be helpful to you. That's the whole idea of this video. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and until the next time, thank you. This is Alan Rosinski. Bye now.